All right, guys. So today we need to talk about the Armory update once again because this has been going absolutely insane. I know I just made a video talking about these a couple of days ago, and that's what's so crazy because a couple of days ago, there was so much stuff that was still profitable to unbox in the Armory update. All the stickers and all the charms were profitable, and many of the collections were at least close to profitable, where, hey, you at least have a decent chance to maybe get some good stuff and maybe make a little bit of money, but maybe you're only expected to lose a little bit. It wasn't even that bad. But now, just a couple of days later, everything has gotten wrecked. Everything is crashing, and this is hitting charms, most specifically the hardest. So in this video today, I want to talk about what the heck is going on with the arm randoms, what the heck is going on with charms, and try and give you guys a better idea of what to do from here. I am Jeremy, CS2 collector, investor, and cash trader, and I did want to mention real quick that if you are looking to sell any of your CS2 items and turn them into cold hard cash or crypto or any other payment method, definitely hit me up over on Twitter. It's going to be the first link in the description below. We're buying pretty much anything and everything for the right price. So if you're looking to cash out to get some money quick for some IRL stuff, or just to change up your portfolio or inventory, or to get some of these armor items, whatever, hit me up. We can probably get a deal done, and you're helping support my channel, my content, which I would appreciate a ton. With that being said, let's get right into this today. So I can't believe how fast charms have fallen. So obviously it was really crazy because at the beginning, when the Armory update first came out, there were some people saying, hey, charms are pretty sick. Some people saying, oh, charms kind of suck. We've seen gun buddies in Valorant. We've seen charms, or whatever they call them, in Call of Duty. We've seen them before. They're never really that cool. People don't really ever care about them that much. But obviously the big asterisk with Counter-Strike was the fact that these items have real-world value. And if there are some cool charms that are going to end up being expensive, then they're going to be cool and people are going to like them. But if charms end up being, worthless, overproduced, whatever, then no one is really going to care. But the fact that we have rare charm patterns, we have 100,000 different colors of every charm. I think Valve actually did a pretty good job of making charms pretty cool and actually pretty exciting and interesting. And then once the 7-day market restriction ran out and people actually found out that charms were profitable, people started redeeming charms like crazy. But also, I think at the beginning, charms were probably a little bit overpriced. People were mega speculating, and also everyone was trying to get overpay on every single charm. It was like, oh, look, I have charm pattern 42,330. This has to be worth some kind of overpay, right? Oh, look, I have a half purple, half orange AK. This has to be worth some, there were so many messages, Discord messages, Reddit, Twitter, everything, where people's like, oh, look at this. How much does this go for? But everyone was trying to find and invent and make up overpay and all their stupid charms. People were trying to get the rare patterns, whatever. And then it turns out that, hey, as people started redeeming charms like crazy, certain patterns and certain colors just aren't as rare as people would have liked. And charm pattern, or just the baseline charm prices have been absolutely tanking. That's obviously going to make not only those rare patterns increase, like there's more supply out there, but also prices are going to continue to go down. So this is really hitting all the different charms right now. This is just within the last 5 days. This is the Baby Carrot T, down 28% in the past 5 days. Now, I'm sure there are some patterns and some, rare ones that are holding up better than others. I think ultimately at the end of the day, you're going to get some overpay for certain desirable colors, if there is a color that people like more. And certain colors can only be found within like a 5,000 window. Some certain colors can be found within like a 30,000 window. Some colors can be found within a 5,000. But I know there's some people that's like, oh no, this is like the top range of the spectrum. It's like, no, I think if they're a certain color, they'll get some amount of overpay. I think you would also maybe get some overpay for those single digit template patterns. Like if you have pattern number 1, I think that's always going to be worth some overpay. That's cool. But saying like, oh, I have pattern 79 and this is pretty low, or I have pattern 172, that's only 3 digits. I don't think ultimately those things are going to be worth that much overpay. I don't think anything's going to care about that, but I've been getting so many DMs and, people trying to sell me charms for over, crazy prices and all this stupid stuff. No, I think certain colors are going to be more desirable. They're going to be worth something. And if you have some really extremely rare patterns, like I said, pattern 1, pattern 2, pattern 3, maybe pattern 72, pattern 85, nobody gives a shit. That's not going to be worth any overpay. People just want their stuff to be worth more than it actually is. But Baby Carrot T, down 28% in the past 5 days. Pretty crazy. Baby Carrot CT, down 42% in the past 5 days. I mean, that is sick. I know people have been redeeming charms a ton. I also know people have been buying charms a ton. Once people saw charms had value, I think people tried scooping them up. They're like, oh, I'm going to hit this, mega investment or whatever. But people are finding out the hard way why you don't necessarily and why you shouldn't necessarily buy items while they are still actively dropping. Now, again, this doesn't mean that charms are ultimately going to just keep dropping down to zero, that charms suck or they're worthless or they're not even going to be a good investment. It just means we need to let charm prices settle first. We need to see how much supply is going to be created. We need to find out how long these specific charms are actually going to be in the armory. We need to find out how rare they actually are because, again, at the end of the day, they only cost 3 stars. A bunch of people can get a ton of charms. Like I said, the rare patterns maybe maybe aren't as rare as people thought, and just the overall charm prices are maybe not as high as people thought. Semi-precious, this is one where the pattern matters a lot. There's some actually pretty sick patterns for the semi-precious, but it's down 51%, over 50% in the past 5 days. We have the titanium op down 58% in the past 5 days. That's one of the ones that I've seen get hit the biggest. Again, die-cast AK, this is one of some very, very sick patterns, very pattern dependent. You can see the prices kind of spike up every once in a while when one of those bigger patterns gets sold. Down 57% in the past 5 days. We have the diner dog, actually one that's gotten hit a little bit less, only down 13% in the past 5 days. We have the diamond dog, down 42% in the past 5 days. Lil Sass, 66% drop in, this is overall, so this isn't in the last 5 days. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to. Okay, still 60% drop in the last 5 days, so that is very crazy for the Lil Sass. Lil Crass, he's actually pretty cool. I actually kind of like this one where the headband changes colors. Still down 40% in the past 5 days. Lil Whiskers, this is one where the pattern actually matters a lot. The cat can just be like totally different colors. I think it's actually a pretty fun one, down 52% in the past 5 days. Lil Monster, this is another one where the pattern matters a lot. The different colored tongues I've seen actually going for some overpay and some differences and stuff. But even this one, past 5 days, down 31%. So again, I understood that since charms were not only profitable, but like mega profitable, extremely profitable. Some of these charms were like 177% ROI, 180% ROI just a couple of days ago. That this was obviously going to incentivize people to be unboxing a ton of them and taking advantage of that ROI. It was, essentially free money, but also you have that mega risk of that 7-day market restriction where a ton of people unbox charms that they thought were going to be profitable, and now they're finding out that they are unprofitable. Now, again, this doesn't mean they're going to go straight down. Doesn't mean they're going to remain unprofitable. They actually could bounce back up, because now if people are like, oh, Armory sucks and nothing's profitable in Armory, people could actually slow down their unboxing numbers and maybe even come to an entire halt, their redemption of Armory stars entirely. And then that will lessen those supplies. And then if people say, oh, there's a bunch of great deals I hear, there's a bunch of things I can actually get for cheap, that could bounce the prices back up. These things could remain mega volatile for a while. But again, if anything gets above 100% ROI, or even above, significantly above that, it's going to get pushed back down while the Armory is still so easily accessible. But obviously the big thing here is that people actually have to play the game and pay $16. It's not like you can just spend $1.20 and get a bunch of charms. You actually have to spend that entire pass. You have to redeem the passes. And eventually the Armory update, it's getting more and more stale as each week goes by. I do think we're going to see less and less redemptions. So yes, prices are crashing right now, but that doesn't mean we couldn't find some stable bottom and maybe even see some rebound. Again, this doesn't mean in the long term that charms are going to be some terrible investments. I actually think they could be pretty solid investments. And the prices going down right now means you're going to get a lower and lower entry price. Things that you thought you didn't want to buy at the prices a week ago, you can now buy them for 50 or 60% off, which is absolutely insane. Stickers are now the best thing in the Armory, which is interesting to me. And I'm a little bit happy because I've been saying that, to me, I think the best long-term investment from the entire Armory pass, and like if I had to pick something to be the most profitable long term, if I had to buy something from the Armory Pass and hold it for like 3 years or something like that, I would be buying cheap Elemental Craft stickers. I've been saying that, and now all of a sudden the Elemental Craft stickers are the highest ROI you can actually get. They're still unprofitable, but they are the best so far, and I think that's pretty cool because that's something that I actually acknowledged pretty early on, that I thought these were really cool. They are consumable items. They're only 1 star, and there's actually some really cool stickers in there that I think could end up being really good for the long run. But for right now, charms are getting absolutely wrecked. So if you have held charms, you've been buying charms, whatever, hopefully you're doing okay. I definitely feel bad, but hopefully we'll be able to see some kind of recovery. As far as everything else, collections still pretty trash, around 60% ROI, and then you got the Desert Eagle Heat Treat. It's in there at 23%, the worst of the worst. But yeah, for right now, charm prices in the last week, in the last 5 days, even in the last like 48 hours, tanking. But that doesn't make the items any less cool. I still think there are a lot of cool patterns out there. I do think there is a lot of collectability with these charms. I still think charms are overall a good addition to CS2, but just for right now, things are looking a little bit rocky. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.